Welcome to another presentation of the Emerging Renaissance and Odyssey of the Spirit. Today we are at Holy Cross Retreat House in Mesilla Park, New Mexico, at the site of the conference to the American Dowsing Association. And our guest today is Emahmn. Welcome, Emahmn.
Thank you, sir.
Emahmn is a painter who paints sacred geometry. And the use of that sacred geometry is to help people find out how they themselves can go within and by using sacred geometry achieve their own inner potentials.
Very good.
Emahmn, explain to us what is sacred geometry as opposed to profane geometry, shall I say?
Or mathematical
Okay.
geometry. Well, the universe is all based on geometry. God is the greatest geometrician. Everything that you could imagine, it's done by geometry. But the sacred geometry is an aspect of the drawing that would communicate to you a specific set of information. Another way to explain it is that some 10,000 years ago, Hindu masters, they knew there are 5 universal energies. Until February of '86, the Western scientists, they thought there are only 4. But in '86 in Berkeley, California, they discovered the 5th one. So now the scientists, they say, yes, we got 5 universal energies, and we know that everything, Himalaya Mountain is the largest galaxy, the smallest particle on Earth, is all made of these 5 energies, including your thoughts and your dreams. Everything is made of these 5 energies. The only thing is different is the rate of vibration and how they are combined. That's it.
Okay, and what are the implications of being at a different level of a rate of vibration?
Well, the slower the vibration, the more dense the particle or the object will appear. Now,
so an implication for a person.
Yeah.
For
What happened when the Hindus, they discovered this, they knew human beings cannot physically control these 5 energies. Now, there are some masters like Lord Jesus or Sai Baba, they know how to control these 5 energies and create things right in front of your eyes. But for those of us that we don't know how to do that, they design 5 geometrical shapes that they call them tattvas, which means energies. But these 5 geometrical shapes, they are not really energies. These, by you meditating on them, you could control the energy corresponding to this.
Could you identify?
Yes, I will gladly. These 5 shapes, first of all, the first one is an ovoid, next one is a triangle, a half moon, a circle, and a square. These are the 5 shapes. The ovoid corresponds to the newest energy, which is called hypercharge. Now, Newton figured out, I mean, he really believed that if you have a vacuum tube and you drop different objects, they all would fall at the same rate of speed. But this tells you it's not so. The heavier the object, the slower it would move. So in other words, if you had a piece of cotton, let's say a cubic inch of cotton and cubic inch of lead, cotton would fall a lot faster because of this energy. It's called hypercharge. What it does, it slows you down spiritually. It would slow you down for you to stop and think and learn. The next
So, excuse me, while a person would be meditating on this figure, what consciousness goal change is the person wanting to achieve? Becoming lighter? Is that the...
This particular design, it helps you to have higher or greater awareness expands your comprehension, understanding, and helps you to develop the ability to materialize or manifest things.
In this process, say, of meditating on that figure, should the person consciously be seeking these changes?
No. No, it's just like electricity. You don't have to know how electricity works or what are the theories. If you flip the switch, the light goes on, or turn it off, light goes off.
There's an automatic interaction of the energy pattern that reaches a person's consciousness.
Yes.
And then from there goes into the unconscious mind.
Absolutely. The other way around. Actually, when you look at this, your subconsciousness, which is coded with these 5 designs, it's not like we are adding anything. We already are coded by this, and the Hindu masters, they discovered this. Give you a great example. When I finished my project, I was going to put it away and start something else. And then I discovered that my driver's license was outdated, so I had to go get and take another test. When I was taking the test, I noticed all the road signs are based on tattvas. And the guy who designed the roads, I had no knowledge of tattvas, so I understood that every human being is already coded with these subconsciously. And we, by consciously looking at them, we trigger enough that set of information in subconscious, which in turn operates in our physical and in our spiritual universe.
So that unleashing will begin to manifest in the various levels and aspects, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially,
every way. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you want to know the second one?
Okay, please.
Oh, by the way, the meditation is so simple that it's really pathetic. Is that all you have to do, look at this ovoid, which is indigo. Now, oddly enough, when you look at indigo for 2-3 minutes and you close your eyes, you will not see indigo, you will see yellow-orange. The same as when you look at red, you close your eyes, you won't see red, you will see green. So these are the complementary colors. So for second one, which is the triangle, and it's called Tejas in Hindu or in Sanskrit, you have to look at it long enough that when you close your eyes, you see the complementary color or the reverse of these two. Green becomes red and red becomes green. And when that happens, you know that this energy is already being activated in your system.
Okay, and the energies unique to the triangle then are?
Okay, first the scientific name for this is electromagnetism, which is, you could say, electricity and get away with it. But what it does, it activates the centers in a body that they produce electricity. If you agree that human beings are very, very low voltage electrical machines, this one will increase your voltage.
Primarily, I mean, so people who are low in physical energy would do well.
Very well.
To meditate on that.
The same, and also it increases all the abilities that they are under that jurisdiction, like decision making, creativity, initiative, being more aggressive or assertive, getting going, goals orientation, having directions, going toward a direction, and so on.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is half moon. It's called apas in Sanskrit, and it corresponds to gravity, and it develops the feminine aspect as opposed to the triangle would activate or increase or expand your masculine aspect. So this is good for developing receptivity, perception, sensitivity, calmness, quietness within, and so on.
So for a stressed out person who wants peace, inner harmony, the half moon figure.
That's a great idea. Also, if a person is angry or activated or agitated, or it's too aggressive, this will help them to calm down. The next two, they work together. The circle is called Vayu, and the square is called Prithvi, and they correspond to air and earth. Their scientific name is called the weak force and the strong force governing nuclear structure. In other words, if you examine an atom, you have a nucleus and you have these electrons revolve around it. The reason that the electrons revolve is that nucleus has this power that wants to pull the electrons toward it, and the electrons have the power that they want to take off and go away. Between this pull-push, you get the circular motion, and since electrons don't stay with the same atom, they jump around, so they bond, they make a kind of a bond, a magnet between them, so the atoms get bonded together and they make molecules, and molecules bond together and they make cells, and the cells make the universe as we know it.
Between these two figures, then, are the two impulses for stability and attraction as well as repulsion.
Right.
Which one is the stability factor?
The square is called the strong force governing nuclear structure.
That's the one that draws inward.
Right.
The bond,
Right.
like
Right.
gravity.
Like gravity.
And the outward thrust.
Is the Vayu, which is called the weak force governing nuclear
So
structure.
persons who in their lives might sense that perhaps...
No, this only works basically on the subatomic level. However, they have specific things, like if you want to be more stable, it is true. If you are, like let's say a person that's very heavy in Gemini energy, so they don't have that much stability, using this square make them balance. And if a person is really stuck, then using the circle make them a little more flexible. Yeah, that's true.
Would you recommend that people not only emphasize perhaps the one that matches their need, but also with some regularity go through all of the five symbols?
But this is the whole idea. In the olden days, if you would have gone to your guru and he would have told you to do that, you start with one, and 1 week, and then the second week you add one, and then by the 5th week you meditate on all 5, 2 minutes on each one. But what I have done, I spend a little bit of time, like about 3 years, study these, and then I combine them with themselves like a multiplication table, and came out with 25 symbols, and then I spent 18 years putting them in a chemistry chart. So like each column, they have a relationship. Actually, the first row is called principle, the second row is called the laws, and the third one is called the effect. In other words, if you use this principle, operating through this law will give you this result. So that's my contribution.
Okay, but now you would take this even further.
Right.
You work with individuals and you paint.
Right.
A variety. You have a book there, a volume
Right.
of paintings.
Yeah.
You help tailor this to a particular person. So beyond
Right.
the generic, there is
Right.
the unique.
Right.
How do you work with a person? I looked at yesterday some of your coloring books.
Right.
That you have these, and then you ask people to color them
Right.
in. And what could you explain that process of
Yes.
what you want the person to do and what they achieve by filling in those colors?
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, we'll do that. Once I finished this chart, I knew exactly how each individual would help a person, but I also figured out how you could combine them in order to achieve a specific goal. To start with, I had some people, I used to be a math teacher, and I had a lot of kids that they appeared could not learn math. So what I did, that was the first thing I did. I designed 3 designs that, and it's one of my books called Coloring Book of Magical Design. The last 3 pages of the book are these 3 designs. My recommendation is if a person makes 30 copies of each, it's not an overnight thing, but if you make 30 copies of each of these 3 pages and you color 1 each day in 30 days, in 90 days, you will see such change that it's not believable.
In terms of learning math?
In terms of how much easier it is to learn math. I have had now 6 graduate students that they could not finish their master degree because of one statistic. I put them on one semester. I told them, don't go to school. Just every day spend 15, 20 minutes color. And then they go back to school and they're in top of their class.
Does this awaken an intuitive understanding of the principles?
No, what happens, you see, we all have the same capabilities, except somebody like Mozart, the music part is developed, somebody like Hemingway knows how to write, and somebody like, they could do math and so on. But we all have those abilities, except it's not activated, or it's not quite developed. Somehow these designs, they activate or they reprogram or they develop those centers in your computer that would help you to learn those things. I had one gentleman, very handsome man, very rich, owned his own company, but he could not speak for 10 seconds. And every year he had to give a lecture to all these business people. Well, I worked with him and I showed him there are 3 designs in the same book, and he really colored 3 every day for 1 month. And then I gave him 2 designs to put on each side of his notes on podium. They couldn't get him off. He would not shut up. I mean, he said he forgot that he was supposed to get nervous. So they do things, but I have in that particular book, also in this book, it's called Celestial Geometry. It's about the same kind of a thing. It's more detailed. It's lots, the designs are more complex. It's get somebody to do 1 a day every day may not be such a good idea, but this will do the same thing, but it does lots more than subjects in a school. The first book that I designed, it was basically for students, like math and science and sports and language and all kinds of different things.
How young a person might you recommend this type of activity for?
Well, we have used them with the students as early as second grade, as old as, well, I know that we use them for senior students that their math level were like about 3rd grade, but they were seniors and ready to graduate, so we use them in all different levels.
Now, I know you spent a lot of time in India.
Right.
Is that how you first got into this? Can you give us a little personal odyssey of your own here?
Well, the way I got into this, in 1960, I was not very stable, to put it mildly. A friend of mine recommended me to meet a gentleman named Ophiel. He was a big metaphysician at the time. And he worked with me, and he said that he was very pleased to work with me, except I was supposed to pay him, and I didn't have any money to pay him. So he told me I have to do him a favor, and I said, fine. So he gave me these 5 tattvas. He knew about them. And he said, all you have to do, combine them, just like I did, and then tell him what the meaning is. And being who I was, I thought, I was a combination of Jesus, Einstein, and Schweitzer, and maybe in a week I could do it, But it turned out that I wasn't that smart. And it took 18 years. I spent 10 years of those 18 years, over 12 hours, but I finally figured them out. But basically, what these designs do through my books and I have some books, like that book is book for chakras, what it would do that balances your chakra, but you don't need me. It is all self-explanatory. Everything that I have done is based on getting you to a place that you be your own guru. You take care of yourself. If you want to spend 18 hours a day meditating like I did at one time, great. If you never want to do any meditation, well, that's fine with me too. But it puts you in charge. It gives you the responsibility to take care of yourself. But with this one little page, with this chart, you could do incredible, incredible things. It just doesn't have any limitation.
Does it make any difference when someone colors them, what color they use? Is there an appropriate color?
Well, when it comes to that, I have a little good saying. I say, buy 2 of each, and then color one in your way and color one in my way, and then compare them. But seriously speaking, I spent 8 years checking and rechecking these colors. So if somebody could come out and show me that another color would work better, I'd be more than happy to change everything. But so far, nobody has come forth. So the colors pretty much should stay the same. But my recommendation again is people should not take my word for it. They should experiment and check their experiences to see which one is more effective.
The thought going through my mind is these seem to be Oriental figures. I'm not aware of Western cultures, at least locking onto the 5, in the sense that the Orient stresses universals.
Right.
The West stresses individuation.
Right.
And I'm wondering if we can combine the thought of a major minor mode in some way as we do in music, where there might be a major color, and perhaps what you suggested, your colors and their own might combine the
I have already
universal
done
energies.
that.
Okay.
You see, what I did, it always used to be very bold colors, but I had some Western ladies, actually dowsers right here, that they were asking me over and over again that they did not like bold colors, it did not work for them, so they wanted different colors, so I started doing pastel. But basically it's still the same colors, but a lighter version of it, and they seemingly work very well. I know I have a bunch of them on the other book, but I don't have a whole lot of new ones. These are the newest thing I have done is to, like over here, see, these are pastel colors.
And they contain, each one of these contains some variation of those original 5.
Right.
Do they normally contain all 5?
No, no. Well, I really haven't checked that out. These designs that you see in this book, they are done for individuals.
You connect with a person?
No,
and then
that's another story that I could run by very quickly.
Okay.
Now we are into Kabbalah.
Fine.
Kabbalah is the mystic aspect of Jewish religion. And Kabbalists some 5,000 years ago, they knew that every human being on earth has a particular task. And since we don't know what it is, they give us formulas that you could use with the astrological chart, figure out what your task is, what energies would help you to achieve that task, and then just go and do it by whatever means you know how. So what I do for individuals, I do their horoscope, I extract those information, convert them to my chart, go to the chart that I showed you, the chemistry chart, convert them to those symbols and sit and meditate, and I see a design made of those symbols, and then I design them. So by a person coloring these, they put this information in their computers and they reprogram themselves So as they go through everyday life, they are programmed to achieve the task that they have come to achieve.
Kabbalah, therefore, what similarity do you see between the Jewish mystical Kabbalah approach, the principles, and the Hindu? We don't have much time.
They are very, very closely related. As a matter of fact, when I was studying Kabbalah, I was every so often I was saying somebody knew about Hindu mysticism. They are very, very related. Very related. If we had time, maybe when I come back, I'll come to one of your shows and we talk about Kabbalah.
What is this accurate to say? Because you said the unique mission of each person. So
right.
Is it that the Kabbalah perhaps emphasizes the uniqueness, where the Hindu
right.
principles, the universal, and then
right.
you're integrating the two
right.
as you work with a person?
Absolutely.
You've done this for individuals?
Yeah, I have done now about 3,000 designs.
We only have a minute left.
All right.
Have you ever applied this to groups or to organizations? Does
No.
the concept make sense to you?
I have not done it with groups, but I do it for organizations and for couples that they get married, or if you have a new center or a new school, I do design for them.
Well, Emahmn, I want to thank you very much for sharing these very powerful insights of life and growth and potentials, and I thank you for coming and
Thank
sharing
you.
this with us today, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Including your thoughts and your dreams. Everything is made of these 5 energies. The only thing is different is the rate of vibration and how they are combined. That's it.
Okay, and what are the implications of being at a different level of a rate of vibration?
Well, the slower the vibration, the more dense the particle or the object will appear. Now,
so an implication for a person.
Yeah.
For
what happened when the Hindus, they discovered this, they knew human beings cannot physically control these 5 energies. Now there are some masters like Lord
Welcome to another presentation of the Emerging Renaissance and Odyssey of the Spirit. Today we are at Holy Cross Retreat House in Mesilla Park, New Mexico, at the site of the conference for the American Dowsing Association. And our guest today is Emahmn. Welcome, Emahmn.
Jesus or Sai Baba, they know how to control these 5 energies and create things right in front of your eyes. But for those of us that we don't know how to do that, they design 5 geometrical shapes that they call them tattvas, which means energies. But these 5 geometrical shapes, they are not really energies. These, by you meditating on them, you could control the energy corresponding to this.
Could you identify?
Yes, I will
what they are,
gladly.
please?
These 5 shapes. First of all, the first one is an ovoid. Next one is a triangle, a half moon, a circle, and a square. These are the 5.
Emahmn is a painter who paints sacred geometry, and the use of that sacred geometry is to help people find out how they themselves can go within and, by using sacred geometry, achieve their own inner potentials.
Very good.
Imam, explain to us what is sacred geometry as opposed to profane geometry, shall I say?
Or mathematical
Okay.
geometry. Well, the universe is all based on geometry. God is the greatest geometrician. Everything that you could imagine, it's done by geometry. But the sacred geometry is an aspect of the drawing that would communicate to you a specific set of information. Another way to explain it is that some 10,000 years ago, Hindu masters, they knew there are 5 universal energies. Until February of 86, the Western scientists, they thought there are only 4. But in 86 in Berkeley, California, they discovered the 5th one. So now the scientists, they say, yes, we got 5 universal energies, and we know that everything, Himalaya Mountain is the largest galaxy, the smallest particle on Earth, is all made of these 5 energies.